All right, for the first time on Up to the Second College Football, we are talking TCU football. Yeah, we usually stay in the SEC, but this is a huge matchup. TCU going to Austin to take on Texas. Let's talk to an insider, Austin Flanagan. He's the host of the Frog Pod podcast, also the former radio host there at 88.7 KTCU. He's joining us here on remote from Chi-Town, Chi-Town's greatest. That's right. No longer Ye and the rest of those guys. Austin Flanagan. What's up, Austin?
How you doing? Pleasure to be on here today.
Yeah, man. So I'm trying to figure out. So nobody's surprised that, it's working out, but maybe to this level. How has it worked to this level for TCU for this much of the season?
I mean, truthfully, it comes down to the culture change that TCU had coming from the last regime. It just seems that the guys are having more fun. The offense is definitely taking a step up, and the guys are being able to know that they can make mistakes and be who they truly are as football players, not having to worry about losing their spot or getting extremely yelled at. And it's just about, I think, comes down to trusting the coaches and the coaches trusting the players. That's what I think the biggest change has been so far for TCU and Max Duggan taking that step as a quarterback.
Well, tell me a little bit about Max and, again, a name that I don't think anybody expected to hear in Heisman talks, but here he is in the middle of it all and potentially makes a stronger case this weekend against the University of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, we said earlier this week that this is going to be his time to have his Heisman moment. I mean, it's the biggest stage TCU is going to play on the regular season. DKR at night, college game day, Kurt and Chris on the call. But Max has been such a journeyman. I mean, he's just fought for TCU, been a 3-year starter, lost his starting job to Chandler Morris. Chandler Morris got hurt first half versus Colorado. Max came in that first game and really didn't do much. We just ran the ball down Colorado's throats and won the game. But he took a step as a passer, and he's used his legs that he's always had. That's always been a positive for Max. He just never really took that next step as a thrower. And this year in Garrett Riley's offense, he's making the right reads. He's been a great decision maker, and he's putting the ball in places that he hadn't the past 3 years. And it's really been great to see because Max truly had every opportunity to transfer once he lost a starting job, but he said he wanted to be at TCU, and he loves the school and the university. He wanted to help any way he can, and now he's helping in the biggest way possible.
So, Austin, tell me a little bit about Garrett Riley, because obviously we're here in College Station, and everybody on the internet, on message boards at TexAgs and beyond, is looking at potential offensive coordinators. Not that A&M was going to be able to go grab him, because I don't think it fits what they're trying to do here. But that being said, he's a name that you hear about often. Talk about what he brings to the table and why he's such a hot name.
Well, he's such a different thinker when it comes to offense, and it's the way that he goes about the air raid. Him and Sonny Dykes share that similarity in philosophy, but I think that what Garrett Riley does best, aside from just schematics and everything, is he's a great quarterback coach. I think that's what people really forget about. Is like, while he can draw up an offense very well, and at times his play calling can be questionable, I believe that he gets the most out of his quarterbacks, and I think that's shown with Max Duggan. I mean, Duggan in the past has had Doug Meacham, Sonny Cumbie, and Kenny Hill as his quarterback coach. And not that they were not good quarterback coaches for Max, but you can see that Garrett Riley has taught Max another level there, and just about seeing the field differently and understanding what the defense is giving you. Because in the past, I believe that Max almost always looked for the big plays, or if it wasn't there, he would try to create too much. But Garrett Riley is showing you don't need to do all that. Just be comfortable in who you are and give what the defense is presenting to you, and that's yielded great results so far this year.
All right, so obviously one of the toughest games that TCU's been in the last couple of years, just because it is on the road. What concerns you about the University of Texas?
I mean, my biggest concern is definitely going to be, if can TCU generate a pass rush. I mean, it's been something that in the 3-3-5, you got to be able to really have the 3 down linemen attack the quarterback well, and occasionally TCU will bring another blitz from the linebacker. But if TCU can't force Quinn Ewers into being uncomfortable, he's going to have all day back there. And we've seen Quinn Ewers' arm talent. It's one of the best we've ever seen out of a quarterback. And so if TCU can't get a pass rush, it's going to be a very long day on Saturday. And Bijan Robinson out of the backfield last year, that game where TCU played very poorly, but still was almost able to squeak out a win. But Bijan Robinson, I believe he ran for almost 200 yards, and he had like 3 touchdowns. It was a rough day. So TCU's got to be able to generate a pass rush and make the Longhorn offense uncomfortable, or else it's going to be a long day for them.
I know for some, Gary Patterson's very beloved there, but how cool would it be to go to Austin, beat the University of Texas with the guy that used to be the coach that towards the end wasn't the right fit?
I mean, I just got done listening to Sonny Dykes' press conference, and you know, I feel like the players know everything that's going on with Gary, but they're not letting that change their mentality. I mean, none of the players speak ill on Gary Patterson as a personal guy. It just, like you said, it wasn't the right fit at the end, and college football kind of outpaced him. But from a fan's perspective, I mean, there's going to be a lot of purple in Austin. Might not be at the game. It's a sellout, and people have been trying to get tickets, and secondary market showing a super high price. But it's, as a fan, it would be really nice to be like, okay, the guy that always had Gary's number when Sonny Dykes was at SMU comes in, does it with TCU in Texas. That just be just a storybook written all over it.
So I'm sure there's some that are thinking, win this game, and you're almost insured to be in the Big 12 championship game. But beyond that, there's got to be thinking beyond that, maybe beyond the New Year's Six Bowl, right? Am I right? That's got to be some of the thinking out there, the wish list after this game.
I mean, you're right. If you win this game, you get the big picture gets even bigger. But for me and the people I've been close with and talking about this season, everyone says, oh, it feels like 2014. Well, in 2014, the TCU had to go to Baylor, a very good Baylor team, and it was early in the season, but that game haunted TCU, kept them out of the playoffs. So for me, in my personal circle, get through Baylor, and if you can get through this week in Baylor, then you're in the home free. You can start thinking about the playoffs. But from a national perspective, you win this one, you got to start planning out your trips, whether it's in Atlanta or if that's in Phoenix. So definitely from a nationals perspective, this is going to be a big one for the playoff.
All right, Austin, last thing for you. The biggest key, though, is putting pressure on that offensive line and getting Quinn Ewers uncomfortable and not letting Bijan run all over the place.
Yes, that is correct. That's the biggest key. And then another key for TCU, don't turn the ball over. They haven't done it at all really this season. And a quick stat that I found, that Texas, since they beat Oklahoma, has only had 13 points combined in the second half. TCU in the second half of their past 4 games has scored 17, 21, 13, and 21. So if you keep this game close in the first half, the last month or so says that you have a great shot of winning this game based off how both teams respond in the second half.
Austin, we appreciate it, man. Great work. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good week.